Hi, I'm Paul Cruz, the proud superintendent of the Austin Independent School District. And as we know, we're in a very different time right now, a very challenging time as we're dealing with COVID-19 and the impact of COVID-19. As yesterday I announced that we would still begin school on August 18th, but all classes would be for the first of school. So we will still begin August 18th, but all classes will be 100% virtual for the next 3 weeks. There will be additional information forthcoming, and we always post our information on the AISD COVID website. There's been a lot of questions around what we're doing, what's going to happen. So I have brought some colleagues with me to talk about the learning experiences for the upcoming school year. And I'd like for my colleagues to please introduce themselves.
Hello, everyone. I'm Dr. Erin Bown-Anderson, the Executive Director of Academics and Blended Learning.
Good evening, everyone. I'm David Reinhart, Director of Professional Learning.
Thank you so much, Erin and David, for being here. So we've heard a lot of questions from parents. We're a very engaged community, and I love that about Austin. And we want to make sure we're providing the most updated information for our parents, our families, and our students. One question that I get is around learning. Last semester, we had to do things a certain way. And people ask me, so is it going to be the same thing this next semester? And I've explained that it is not, and it's going to be very different. But Erin, can you tell us a little bit more about school, teaching and learning in this upcoming school year?
Absolutely. So I know there is a lot of uncertainty right now about who will be face-to-face in our schools and at what point teachers will be back in classrooms with students. So Austin ISD will follow the health guidance from local, state, federal officials in order to make the best decisions to keep our students and families safe. As you've stated, in the short term, it's been decided that instruction will be virtual from August 18th to September 7th. So some of the biggest questions that arise right now is about the devices and do I have the devices and internet to do the work? So in the past, this past spring, Austin ISD Chromebooks were offered to all students in grades 3 through 12 for use while students are enrolled in the district. We're currently in the process of acquiring and preparing 24,000 iPads for students pre-K through second grade. And we also have obtained 10,000 Wi-Fi hotspots for families who do not have access to the internet. So information will be included in the FAQ from technology following this video about exactly how to schedule a device for your child.
That is wonderful because it is important to have technology for our students and our families. And I've heard a lot of good feedback from our families knowing that they actually have the devices in their homes. Another question comes up, and I also have a child in our schools, and my wife and I also want to check on the progress of our child. So how is that going to happen this next school year? How will parents know how their child is progressing?
Sure. So AISD staff will all be using a common learning management system, which in AISD is called Blend, but it's also commercially known as Canvas. So through this one tool, students and parents will receive all communication about course assignments. They'll be able to watch videos, access lesson content, submit assignments, and most importantly, receive feedback on assignments and communicate with their teachers. So students in pre-K through 2 will also be able to use Seesaw, which can be accessed through Blend as a supplemental, developmentally appropriate tool for younger learners, but having one common place to go to see what's going on in the digital learning environment is really important to us.
It absolutely is. I speak to my superintendent colleagues, and there are many different platforms to use, but we use Blend, and that's and Seesaw for younger children, so that we have some consistency. Another question I've heard is around the quality of lessons and how that's going to happen, and some inconsistencies. Last semester, we had to change in real time, and so now questions come about the consistency of the quality of the lessons and even the student work. So Erin, tell us a little bit more about what that's going to look like this next semester.
Sure. We have some of the most incredible professionals in Austin ISD. I am so proud to work with these folks. The AISD academics, professional learning, technology teams, and teachers have been working so hard over the summer to create high quality online instructional resources for students in all grades that will be much more comprehensive and robust than what existed in the spring. So these experiences that are being designed will help create a more equitable experience for students in all of our school communities. So it might be helpful to know what we're planning for. These experiences will emphasize, first and foremost, the importance of community and connectedness between teachers and students. That applies whether it's face-to-face or in a remote environment. Emphasizing social and emotional and physical needs of the child and the family are also really, really essential to have that built in and those experiences come to life. Thinking about the assignments themselves, it's essential that there are reflection tools for students and parents so that they can see and track progress toward clear learning goals. And that allows teachers to provide authentic and meaningful feedback. It's hopefully going to be very engaging for all learners of all backgrounds and include opportunities for students to interact simultaneously with the teacher sometimes and opportunities to work at their own pace as well. We want to make sure that there are opportunities and resources for reteaching and support and include at the heart provisions for learners with special needs.
That is wonderful, Erin, because it is something I know that you and your team have been working on, making sure that we're ready for the upcoming school year and that we welcome our students. And I know as teachers, as principals, we want to have our kids back in our classrooms and in our schools. We do. We absolutely do. But we know these are conditions right now. That's not going to happen beginning August 18th. And so I'm so glad that you also talked about whether the importance of the academic preparation and learning, but also the social emotional part that's so essential in our theory of action of the way we know kids learn and excel. This is a big change. As I said, as teachers, we prefer to have our kids in our classroom, and I know that. I speak to our teachers regularly, and they want to be back in the classroom with our kids, but that we can't do that in this situation. So professional development opportunities have to be there for our teachers, our administrators, and our staff members. So David, can you highlight some of those opportunities for our staff?
Yes, of course, Dr. Cruz. So when remote learning began in March and April, there was a great effort to prepare teachers and staff for the new context. As Erin mentioned, teams from across the district and our own teachers really stepped up to begin supporting our staff and each other. And professional learning for teachers has continued throughout the summer, and teachers have continued along that learning journey. Teachers and all staff have access to close to 500 online live or synchronous sessions over the summer, as well as targeted courses provided online to be completed at their own pace. We've had close to 14,000 registrations in our system for these sessions, in addition to all that independent and self-paced learning that's been happening. We value and appreciate the teachers' time and dedication to do this, and teachers can flex those hours of learning for the 2 days off during the school year as part of our Exchange Day program. Professional learning for other staff, particularly campus leaders who support the teaching and learning process, is also underway this summer. So, and as we continue to think and move forward as we prepare for the reopening, we're structuring professional learning into 4 main priorities, very, very much in line with what you and Erin have been discussing. So number 1, first and foremost, the welcome back and health and safety orientation. Those safety procedures and protocols, staff wellness, adult social emotional learning as well. The second one being around that whole child, the trauma-informed practices, social emotional learning, and cultural proficient and inclusive practices. So very much in line with the kind of way Erin was talking about the curriculum and the resources being designed and delivered. The third one also we've touched a little bit on, those learning standards to guide the student experience. Erin mentioned in Blend is our communication tool around that. So how are we going to communicate that progress and progression towards mastery? And the fourth, of course, ties into that high quality online experiences, interaction, and feedback, so our staff can be more prepared to deliver in the mode that we currently are entering. And so once teachers officially return in August, they'll receive a professional learning playlist that outlines the key learning goals, requirements, as well as those choice learning opportunities in those 4 priority areas. and they'll continue towards those journeys throughout the course of the year. 2 days of professional learning will be provided by the district for staff to reflect, self-assess, and move forward in those key competencies. Additional days prior to the students returning will provide teachers to work together as campus communities, engage in learning around those campus-specific procedures, protocols, and priorities, as well as that dedicated planning and preparation time, which we know is vital for success for teachers. So there's a lot happening, Dr. Cruz.
There absolutely is. And so, David and Aaron, I want to thank you for being part of my check-in for this time. Please know that to all of our folks who are viewing, this will continue. I'll have regular updates leading up to our first day of school so that we keep our parents, our students, and our community informed about the great work that's going to continue to happen in the Austin School District. Thank you so much.